Welcome back to another episode of the Real Estate Playbook. My name is Joe LoCicero, and I'm here with my co-host Alison Bresciani.
Hey everyone.
How you doing today?
Pretty good. How are you?
Good to see you again.
You too.
So, what do you got for us today? What are some of the questions you're getting from the viewers on what's going on in the marketplace? So that way we can kind of get them that information they're looking for.
Well, I get asked quite a bit about what do I do when someone is inquiring about pre-foreclosures or foreclosures in general. A lot of people don't know where to look, how to find those things, or what does it mean when a property is just pre-foreclosure.
Yeah, so typically what my understanding of pre-foreclosure is a list pending's been filed on the house. Usually if you're dealing with a homestead property, around 180 days, that's kind of what I remember. I'm assuming it's still kind of the same time cycle. That will go out once that court document has been sent out to the homeowners. Typically that will kind of put a little anvil on property sites and public records and things of that nature, letting you know that a loan is in default, which then triggers a pre-foreclosure. Now, it doesn't mean that person's going to foreclose. There's a lot of ways that foreclosure can be prevented.
Right.
But it does I would call it more of a loan delinquency than a pre-foreclosure, because most of those homes aren't going to go to the foreclosure. Now, to the foreclosure part, that's typically a home where whoever owned that asset or somebody won that asset at auction is now taking ownership of that property. So if I defaulted on a home, I was evicted, my house went to auction, I was foreclosed upon, somebody else is going to take over that property, and then they'll either, sell it off market, get it ready to bring to market, or sometimes not even get it ready, just kind of list it at market and go ahead and move forward with the sale, depending on what they choose to do with those assets and who's the one who currently owns it. I think where a lot of, I don't want to say agents, a lot of consumers think they're going to get good deals on these pre-foreclosures, and sometimes they might be eyeballing a property for 2 or 3 years, depending on what happens in that situation. But I feel it's a false sense of hope. If I'm an agent, I'm advising of exactly what it means. The odds of this kind of coming to fruition, highly unlikely. We can always, save this property, but more likely you're not going to be able to negotiate anything unless it went to market as a short sale or contacting the homeowner, try to short sale, something of that nature, or if it ended up getting relisted after the foreclosure process by the new owner of the property. So I think the pre-foreclosures just kind of have kind of a mythical connotation out there in the marketplace where a lot of people truly don't understand what that means.
Agreed, 100%.
Yeah. Well, anything you want to add to that?
I mean, for me, it always goes back to what do you want to do? How do you parlay that inquiry into an opportunity? And so you could potentially reach out to the homeowner and, like you said, maybe offer them a short sale option. Also just say, hey, I know this is a tough time, but are you thinking about selling? Maybe we can get out of it clean. Just because they owe, and haven't paid doesn't mean that they're upside down necessarily. So you could try to parlay that into either an off-market opportunity for your buyer or maybe a potential listing opportunity. And then in terms of the consumer inquiry on maybe purchasing a pre-foreclosure, explaining to them the situation, as long as you're educated and you're able to explain it to them, and then parlaying that into perhaps something that's listed as an REO already, or internally at your brokerage and your network, finding out if anyone has off-market properties, things of that nature. So I think there's always an opportunity there. Don't close the door on an inquiry just because it's not available for purchase immediately. Find a way to translate that into an opportunity.
100%. And two, if you are going to approach it for an opportunity, tread very delicately. This isn't a great time for the seller, so you don't want to be showing up like a ray of sunshine with a smile on your face. You want to show some compassion and empathy. It's almost like you're there as an aide or an advocate to help them. There's, and try to go through all their options. There's loan forbearance, there's loan modification, there's obviously short sale. There's the bankruptcy route that they need to speak to an attorney to see if that's an option. But there's more opportunity for them that if you did find a distressed homeowner who wasn't quite sure what to do and was looking for options, kind of make them aware of all that. But just be careful when approaching them, because a lot of times in sales you try to be chippy and happy and show up all warm and bubbly, and I don't think this is that time.
No,
For that
definitely not.
approach.
Definitely not. You want to be more like me. And very calm, not super bubbly when you approach those types of customers.
Yes. Yep, you do. And just make sure you have the compassion and understand that, you want to go over their options and they're going through a tough time. So keep that, at top of mind. And I will tell you, it's probably one of the, in my opinion, tougher markets to go after, because there's just so many things. Even if you get to them agree to the short sale, then you're dealing with a third party bank or lender, whoever owns the note. And, that's a whole nother battle that we could, host another show on, because there's so much that goes into the short sale process. But yeah, just, it's a great opportunity. I think it's a great way for lead generation to come in. And I think it poses the best opportunity for a pre-foreclosure lead coming into your database would be an opportunity for you to educate and advise that buyer, explain the process. And a lot of times what we do is just typically bring them to, buy a traditional property that's on the market, or new construction, or foreclosure that's actively listed, and things like that.
Exactly.
So, all right. Well, we appreciate you tuning in for another episode of the Real Estate Playbook, and we look forward to catching you next week.